are a lot of really neat online resources for math students out there, and some aren't quite so great. But one of the best that I found is called Desmos.com. It's an online graphing calculator. It's intuitive, it's easy to learn, and yet it's really, really powerful. Once you start digging into it, you'll find applications for basic algebra, advanced algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, and even statistics. Now, one of the best reasons for using something like this is that a visual aid can make mathematics so much easier to understand. You can pick up something in 15 or 20 minutes that it might take you a couple of hours with paper and pencil to learn, although nothing's ever going to replace paper and pencil. So let's take a look at this. And did I mention one of the best things? It's free. This is the first window you see when you go to Desmos.com, and as you can see they offer various other things such as four-function and scientific calculators, things for teachers with classroom activities, and all sorts of Learn Desmos such as videos, challenges, worksheets, etc. But for now what we want to do is we want to concentrate on their graphing calculator. So come up to the red button, double click it, and let's start graphing. Now this is the main screen for the graphing calculator, and it's got several different parts. Your graph, of course, and the keypad, and the area where you will enter in your functions. So let's take a look at those. Keypad is very useful if you're using a tablet, and you can also find all sorts of symbols such as absolute values, square root, pi, less than or equal to. You can use this for putting in exponents, although there are other ways to do that too. You have a four function calculator here, and if you double click this, you also have various different things such as summation, products. You have greatest common denominators. You can go to the statistics and you can find various things such as your mean, maximum, standard deviations. You can go to trigonometry and you can enter in functions if you would like sines, cosines, etc. So let's click out of that, and you can see that when you do, that hides your keypad. You can always bring it back and hide it at will. So let's take a look at your graph here. Over here you will see the graph settings. If you click on that, you can put it into projector mode, which makes it a little plainer, easier to see. You can change it from Cartesian coordinates into a polar graph. You can do various things such as hiding your axis numbers, hiding your grid lines, etc. So for now we'll leave it like this. This is also where you would change into radians and degrees. So let's click out of here and let's try entering in our first function. Here we are in the input area, and Desmos is really nice in that it is programmed in terms of x and y, with y being the dependent variable and x being the independent variable. That means that you don't always have to type in y equals x. You can simply use your keyboard, type in x, and immediately, as soon as it recognizes something as a function, it will graph it. So here we have f of x is equal to x or y equal x. It's red, and if I don't like that, I can go over to that color button on the left, long click it, and I can choose, let's say, blue. And I can also choose my style. I can choose a dotted line, a dashed line, and I think I'll just keep the solid line for this. So let's try something a little bit fancier. I'd like a parabola. I'd like x squared. I can use my keypad for that, but instead I'm just going to use my keyboard. What I'll do is I will type in my X on the keyboard, and then I'm going to use my Shift 6 key. That gives me the caret, and it gets me up into the superscript area, and I can type in 2, and immediately I get my parabola x squared. Now I don't want the same color, so I'm going to go and change that to red. One other thing that I'd like to show you is one of the nicest things about Desmos is it has the ability to change your function into a table. and it lets you plot points. It lets you see representative points on it. There are a couple of ways to do this, but the easiest, I think, is just to go up to the edit list. Click on that and you'll see several different options here. You've got a duplicate, a delete completely, and a convert to table. So let's click the convert to table, and now you're going to see 5 representative points graph. Desmos just kind of picks values that go along with the size of the graph you're using. But if you would like to see, for example, when x is equal to 3, you can just go down there, type it, and you will end up getting a y is equal to 3. Or you can change any of these values to something that you would like to see. Now, you also have options as to the style of your line and points. You can click on that and you can get rid of the line completely and show only the points, like this. Or you can have your line and points, whichever is more convenient. Watch out, however, because you can't go backwards from a table. There is a function called regression, and we will do that later. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're all ready to get started.